Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining. So I wanted to do a high level on what's been going on in the car industry, and of course, specifically the Mopar brands and Dodge. A lot of videos and YouTube channels and podcasts are talking about sort of the day-to-day of what's going on. Are the Hemis coming back? Maybe some new models. But I want to talk more, again, about sort of the high level of what's going on in the auto industry, especially comparing it to what has been going on recently. And when I say recently, actually in the past couple of years with the car industry. This is actually a very optimistic look at what's going on and our future, especially those who love the Mopar brands and Dodge. Mainly, I wanted to say, and I've said this in other videos, elections have consequences. The biggest driver to what's going on with the future of the auto industry and the Mopar brands is what happened with the election and what is going on now in Congress and with the administration. If you look at some of my old videos, I talked about some things that Dodge did to kind of get ready for what would happen if the administration changed. They were kind of putting these insurance policies in place. And one of them, I did this video over a year ago, was the fact that Dodge Durango, which was supposed to end production in 2024, was extended into 2025. And more importantly, extended into 2025 with the Hemi engines, the Hemi V8 engines, and the Hellcat engine as well. So that was a really, really important move. And I'm not sure who at Dodge sort of administered this great move. I'm trying to remember if Tim Kuniskis was already gone, but he's the kind of a guy that would have put this in place, because the CEO of Stellantis, Carlos Tavares, as we know, was running the Mopar brands into the ground. They would not have survived, especially had the administration not changed and we continued on the path, the green energy path and the EV path. That would have been the end of Dodge. It was looking like that was the end, definitely, of Chrysler. Jeep may have survived, but Dodge has a specific group of customers who love the V8s, the muscle cars, basically the image of the Dodge cars, the performance of the Dodge cars. And Carlos Tavares, again, he's out of Belgium. He's a European CEO, and he had that green energy philosophy, and he didn't understand the market in the United States, or he didn't care. So that's what was happening. He phased out the Hemi engines. He didn't want any more V8s. Those are supposed to be gone. He wanted to convert everything to EVs. And again, for the Dodge brands, that was not going to happen. So again, if you look at some of my other videos that I had done in the past, again, not that I'm saying I'm some great seer, some great analyst, but in addition to the fact that the Dodge Durango was getting extended, I also talked about the fact that the 392 Jeep Wrangler was getting extended with the 392, of course, and that was extended into 2025 as well. So, you think about it. Why would they extend it into 2025 past the 2024 election? And that's kind of an insurance policy. It's, of course, to keep sales going, because that's the kind of cars that the Mopar enthusiasts like, but also because keeping the Hemi engine in production meant that if the administration changed and policies changed, then we were still ready to go with dropping that V8 in other of the Mopar brands, such as Ram, and we know that is happening. So again, I wrote that down in my notes and did videos on that. Of course, I did many videos on how Carlos Tavares was destroying the Mopar brands, and thankfully he was booted, and Tim Kuniskis came back. And when Tim Kuniskis came back, this was fantastic news for the Mopar brands. Even though he was brought back as the head of Ram, we knew that this would have implications and influence with all the other Mopar brands. He would, of course, one of the first things he would do is bring the excitement back into Ram. He would bring the performance aspect back into Ram. And of course, to do this, it meant bringing Hemis back into Ram. And bringing them back into ramp and definitely influencing Dodge and Jeep. So that was great news. Now, of course, the latest news is that Tim Kuniskis, not only back at Ram, he's also been appointed to a newly created position as head of American brands and North American marketing and the retail strategy for Stellantis here in North America. So this is great news. Tim Kuniskis will be reporting directly to CEO Antonio Filosa, which is great. They understand, Antonio Filosa and probably the board of directors of Stellantis understand that Tim Kuniskis is a guy that can save the Mopar brands in America because he understands them. He's the one, I mean, did they call him what, the father or the godfather of the Hellcat engine, the Hellcat powered vehicles? Yeah, he understands the market. He is a car guy himself. He did great things with Dodge and basically put Dodge back on the map as the #1 muscle car brand. So that's fantastic. And one of the first things that happened when we heard that Tim Kuniskis was named head of North America, North American strategies and retailing and all that, is that SRT is back, street and racing technology. Now, Carlos Tavares, as we had mentioned, doesn't understand the American market, doesn't care about the American market. He only cared about his green agenda, and he killed off SRT. But SRT, as I said, is coming back. Great news. It means we're going to start putting V8s in as many things as we can. So again, fantastic news. Another thing that's happening, again, I mentioned, there's the Tim Kuniskis, and then there's Washington. And Washington is cutting back on the onerous EPA and CAFE regulations that were basically a de facto EV mandate. It was killing our great brands at Mopar, killing Dodge, and this again is great news. In the big beautiful bill that recently passed, it gets rid of EV subsidies and rebates very quickly. So again, it stops the government from choosing winners and losers, choosing what you will drive and determining, you will drive what we tell you to drive. That's not the way the free market works. That's the way the old planners in the Soviet Union worked, and that's why their society was a mess. But no longer will the government be picking winners and losers, hopefully, in the car industry. That means that it's back to you, the customer, and the free market. That's what will determine what kinds of cars are made in Detroit and in America. So things are changing. They're changing very fast. This looks like it will save Dodge. It will save Ram, maybe even Chrysler, and will reinvigorate the Jeep brand. Ram, I mean, their sales were through the floor, just as Dodge sales were. And Chrysler, did they even have sales? They just had basically the Pacifica. In any event, bringing the V8s back into Ram is so exciting, especially for people that love Ram trucks. And they will now be back into buying Ram trucks. And of course, this is fantastic news for Dodge. We all should be so happy and optimistic now, at least with the trajectory that is currently moving forward. So thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and like this video. Those things help a lot. We'll see you soon. Take care.